importation of this hydroquinone product should be stopped, and then has to be the use of this hydroquinone product has to be stopped, especially maybe starting in the educational system. I say it because I know it very well. Yeah, there are some learners which, with the objective of becoming more clear, they use this hydroquinone product, and this has been banned this has already banned in our country, Burundi, by the Minister of Education. Nowadays, in our educational system, they have already banned the use of this hydroquinone product. Of course, as the Honorable Simon has said, it is difficult to control the one who used that and the one who didn't use that. But sometimes it can be seen, and then it can be seen because there are some who use it on one part and forget to use it on the other part. As the picture I saw one day on WhatsApp, I don't know, when there was a picture of a lady on her face she was bright, but on the leg she was black, and under which it was written, one people, different color. So you can notice that the Rena or any other else has used that. So I conclude my comments by supporting with all of my heart this motion raised by Honorable Gideon. Thank you, Mr. Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sophia. Honorable Fancy. Then finally, Honorable Bahati. Finally, Honorable Francois Zuribert, so that we can conclude this.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me a chance to add my
And in the meantime, Honorable Noor, Honorable Aden, Honorable Susan, can we have your amendments written? Yes? Honorable Aden and Honorable Susan, I need them written because they materially alter the motion and we have to pronounce ourselves on them. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me the chance to add my voice to this very important motion brought by my colleague, Honorable Gideon. First of all, I would like to join my colleagues to congratulate our newly member, the Minister of Foreign Affairs in East African Cooperation from Tanzania, for being appointed and today sworn in as a newly member of this House. Congratulations, Professor. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, I stood one time when my colleague, Honorable Jean-Claude, was presenting his contribution in this motion, that this problem of bleaching our color, it has historical background from colonial era. As we heard from Honorable Guy Den, it started from the Queen. She wanted to look ghostly white. Maybe she believed by looking like that, she will be more beautiful, or she will have a mark, maybe a mark of a queen that no any other queen in the world will look like that. So it has a historical background. Our authority has done their job by burning these products containing hydroquinone. Yes, they did, but the results are not promising. The results are not showing that their efforts are well accepted by the community. So I think, Right Honorable Speaker, on the line of burning this product, we need to ask ourselves, is burning the solution of this, or what is the solution? For my own opinion, and I hope I will get support from other members, that some of our culture promotes we girls to bleach ourselves in order to look beautiful. There are some tribes in Tanzania that if you're white, if you're lighter, you get more bride price than the one who's darker. The lighter ones are easily getting married than us, the darker ones. So the culture also promotes the girls to bleach ourselves. Second, mothers-in-law. I said it from the I saw it for myself. I'm speaking from experience. You find a boyfriend loves you so much, taking you to his mother, and then the mother said, "Okay, you're welcome." After that, when you go to the kitchen, you hear telling his son, her son, like, "This one will not give us cute kids. Her color is not. She will not finish the sentence, but she will, she will not say it. But the reason she's stammering, the reason she's hesitating, it's because you're dark. You have a dark skin than the one that she wanted." And another group that promotes we girls to bleach are our men. Yes, our men. When we stand, I stand and Honorable Mariam stand, they will start looking at Honorable Mariam. And then later they'll say, also Fancy, she has a good body, and what, but they will start with Honorable Mariam.
But Honorable Fancy, we have honorable members here who have their very loving husbands and who have not bleached. Yes, so maybe that is not entirely correct.
I agree, Right Honorable Speaker, but in our community, men are also a problem to this bleaching problem. I was saying, yeah. So, the community, my point is the community itself promotes girls to bleach. So what is the way forward, honorable members, is by now talking to our mothers. Accept the darker skinned girls to be your daughters-in-law. We will also produce the cute kids. The cute kids are coming from God and not from the lighter skin. So I'll also talk to our men. Yes, not from hydroquinone. So our society needs also to accept that even the darker skinned girls are beautiful. Now we are saying black is beauty, but when we go behind the scene, we say, but that one, she's too dark. At night I will not see her. So I think the education in our community to accept that black is beauty is very important. Like we did in FGM, female genital mutilation. It was not easy, but at least now, by a higher percentage, that we are going there to ban completely these practices. Also, in bleaching our skin, we can start by community, by teaching the community, by making them accept. Other way, Right Honorable Speaker, is by uplifting the veil, unveil the veil, showing by our member state, by showing the effects of using the product that has hydroquinone in it. We have people with skin cancer. If you go to Cancer Institute, you will not go back because it is scary, it is painful, but our people in street do not know that until they are in that problem. So I think if we put everything on the table, our people will understand why authority are burning these kind of products. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I support this motion. It is very important, but this is not enough. Burning itself is not enough. We need to educate our people. We need to educate our mothers-in-law and our men that beauty, black is beautiful. Thank you.
You finally, Honorable Bahati, then Honorable Ministers. Honorable Adan, Honorable Council Chair. After the intervention by Honorable Bahati, then we...
Thanks, Honorable, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm here to support the motion. Right Honorable Speaker, I think my colleague, Honorable Gideon, to put this motion, I think it was kind of the intense, the seriousness he found in the use of this product. And the way the motion is written, it is in such a way that is short. He couldn't make all that long because it is, this motion is based on scientific basics. For example, he couldn't put the percentage of the economy that is supposed to be burnt. So had it been given enough time or to give a supporting document, like maybe 10 to 20 pages, it would have convinced enough this August House to support the motion instead of putting amendments. So what I'm saying is that this motion needed some supporting document because it's more scientific, it needs some factors and figures. It doesn't mean that Honorable Gideon doesn't know the economic impact of this burning this product. But it was just like overwhelmed of the impact of this product that is doing to our people. So that's why he just put it short. For me, what I'm saying, I'm supporting this motion, but it needs some more supporting documents that will just be as a supporting facts and figures that will support this motion. My second point is, Mr. Speaker, as we know that in our community, we are lacking, there is a very high rate of unemployment. And a lot of people are just trying to improvise, making these soaps and the cosmetics, of which is being consumed by a big percentage of our community. And these products are homemade. So this being homemade, it means that they are very dangerous, and the more it's burnt, the faster, the better. But meaning they're supposed to be having a certain amount of which you could have given the figures required for that. Right, Honorable Speaker, I think it is also an awakening call for the common market point of view if there needs to be amended. I think, Mr. Speaker, these are not the only products that are harmful to our people. We have to request the Council such that you can make a thorough research for all the products that are very harmful, right from, it's not only the cosmetics and so whatever, but there are also some edibles that come in our community. For example, we're talking of the mercury. We had one of the partner states that imported sugar with the mercury side, which was very dangerous. So we have to put more emphasis on regulatory organs and more of sensitizing our population to change their mindset vis-a-vis use of these hydroquinone products. I beg to support the motion and submit. Thank you also.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Bahati. Now I will invite the ministers to make their intervention. Honorable Adam, then Honorable Olivier.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think this is a very interesting debate, and I'm sure we can continue debate for a very long time. But I just want to start by saying, Honorable Speaker, that black women are the most beautiful women in the world. But somehow, whilst the majority of our women don't undertake to this bleaching process, the few that are spoiling the reputation of our black women who engage in this activity have refused to accept that notion. It's been mentioned on numerous occasions by other speakers that men, to a limited extent, do it, even though the most extreme version of bleaching was actually done by a man, not a woman. That said, Honorable Chair, I was conversing with my colleague, the minister from Burundi, and I was just trying to educate myself. How can you tell somebody who's bleached and who has not? And I have gotten sufficient amount of tutorial. So as I exit this chamber this evening, the women that I'll be looking at, be very careful where I look. My eyes would be all over the place, look for different places. But Honorable Chair, Speaker, the issue of this product is about the choice that people have. There are things that we know are harmful, but people still make the choice to do it. So smoking, for example, is a good example. People know it's harmful, they understand the risks, but they still want to do it. So there could be an argument that if the girl wants to do that process during her wedding night, maybe she should be allowed to, if that is what she wants to do. And I'm also very happy to note that Honorable Mary, who seconded the motion, was extremely passionate about why this thing should be stopped, because I think if a man was one of the people who was actually pushing for this, it could get into a gender issue where men who happen to be the biggest inducers of demand for these products in the first place are the same ones who are advocating for it to be stopped. So that is going to be a very, very big contradiction, a really significant contradiction that the men in this room should be very careful not to be taking the responsibility for stopping these things, yet we are accused of being responsible for this. That said, Honorable Speaker, I think the way to deal with this, in my view, is through ensuring that we have the right standards in place. The role of governments is to make sure that they safeguard the health and mitigate the risks that our citizens face. And that, to a large extent, is done by ensuring that we have the right standards, and compliance with those standards is probably the biggest weakness that we have, even as it relates to this particular product. There are countries, as was alluded to earlier on, that may have banned some of these products, but they still continue to collect taxes in the importation of these products. So the question that people ask themselves is, where is the enforcement? Where is the compliance? And so, not only in specific areas like this particular product, the cosmetics, I think for all the products that we have that are used by our people, I would urge that we enforce many of the bans or the regulation or whatever action that we undertake through enforcement, through first of all development of the right standards to make sure that standards are fit for purpose, and number two, that they are complied with, and if the compliance is not there, then the enforcement actually come in. If we do all that, then we should be able to achieve this. So rather than banning this completely, I think we can do this indirectly by making sure that the standards that we set for these products are at such a high level that no one can actually bring in anything that is harmful, and making sure that all the standards bodies in our respective member states do enforce. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister Adam. Honorable Council Chair, you also wanted to intervene.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, first of all, for this debate, which is an important one. You know, this is an issue about health, about the culture, and about the future, especially the future of our children. Because, of course, we have elder women bleaching, but we also have young children in schools now who have this model of beauty that they see on television, on those devices we have in our homes, of being white, skinny, and blonde. So we have that problem. So it's important that we really tackle this problem within the community. So Section 19 of the Customs Management Act allows the Council of Ministers to amend the second schedule that lists products to prohibit or restrict. More research should help clarify if hydroquinone contains mercury. If so, then the issue is for the Council to enforce the second schedule, given that soaps and cosmetics containing mercury are already prohibited. So for the Council of Ministers to take an informed decision, the matter has to be considered by the Sectoral Council on Health and the Sectoral Council on Trade for proper advice. I thank you, Chair.
Oh, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I now invite Honorable Gideon not to debate again, but to take positions on some interventions without debating. But before you proceed, can I be guided by the clerk on how to approach some of the issues here procedurally? Okay, Honorable Gideon, proceed, please.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Before I proceed, most of my amendments have been brought to you, and I had wanted them back so that
You are right. I think that's why. I think this is something Honorable Noor said before, although we may not have taken a proper decision about it. Clerk, we need a moment to sequence the interventions according to how far they depart from the original motion. That's a rule. So we started with the farthest to the closest. Yes? Yeah. I don't know where the difficulty is.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Before I thank the member, I thank the member of the...
Yes, Honorable Njiku.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just if you may accept...
Honorable Gideon, if you can resume.
Procedurally, the mover of the motion can suggest that the motion be moved as amended, because the Hansard have already captured all the amendments.
You see, what we have noted is that some of the proposed amendments, like Honorable Adam's amendment, it's like proposing a completely different motion altogether. Yes. So that is why we want him to pronounce himself on one after another. Yes. And you put them the way we have given them to you. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The The amendment that was proposed by Honorable Haddon is that motion for resolution of the Assembly recommending to the Council to investigate the harmful effects of hydroquinone, and if found harmful, should ban it in the East African community. I think this is totally changing the concept or the substance of the motion. It takes two stages of one, you have the investigation, but also when you find it, you also come back to the ban. And what I've been doing for all this time is doing my research myself. I was asking before my people who were making the copies to actually whether I could be able to submit the research that I have done or leave it. But many people were telling me, no, this motion is just only to raise and you don't submit the research. So it has evidence of research that we have done in Africa, 5 universities in Sudan, University of Benghazi in Libya, University of Eden in
you can make this exercise easy because you have already justified your motion. So your only task for now is to tell us whether you agree or not.
That amendment.
So do you agree with the Honorable Aden's?
I will not agree with that.
Yes. Now I will put it to the House to decide. Yes. Can you switch off the microphone? The way I am guided, I'm a constant learner, is that when he rejects the motion, I put it to the House to decide. When he rejects the amendment, I put it to the House to decide. Do you want to advise me differently? Yes.
Right Honourable, I would appeal to my colleague. The Chair Counsel has, in his concluding remarks, if you listen to him very well, he is going to refer to the motion to the Secretary Council to do investigations and advise. So I would appeal to my colleague. It is in his interest. Actually, the research you did, we are not privy to it. I could not stand to debate when I don't have concrete information. If you had attached that research, it would inform us to be much more informed. That's the right procedure. So I would appeal to you. Investigation is an ongoing process. If we say that banning, that would be the end result. But you may find that it's going to advise the Council of Ministers to do the investigation and to amend the provisions of the Customs Management Act. So it is in your interest that your motion gives guidance to the Council the next action to take. I thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Member, let us not reopen the debate. Because if we reopen, we will not conclude this.
But procedure, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Buru.
Mr. Speaker, when I stood on the floor to talk about procedure, it was actually in relation to what Honourable Umar had raised, not the other one. But, Mr. Speaker, this is a completely different motion altogether. So, in my view, Mr. Speaker, it is rejecting what has been proposed. So I would like to plead with my brother, Honourable Umar, just to withdraw that amendment and then oppose it when the vote comes on the substantive vote, because that is what it is. So, Speaker, either he is introducing a completely different motion or he is opposing this one in replacement for research and searching and so on. So, Mr. Speaker, that is my...
Well, that is an advice you are giving, but even the route we are taking is procedurally okay, because he proposed an amendment that materially departs from the original motion, and we have put it to the mover. He has rejected that proposal. We are putting it to the House to pronounce itself. Yes. Now, Honourable Gideon, can you read again? of, you can't amend the title successfully and maintain the prayers, because the title makes it conditional precedent for a study to be done. The prayers want immediate action, so they can't match. So, honorable members, those who agree with the proposed amendment by Honorable Aden, say aye. Aye. Those who disagree with the proposed amendment, say nay. Nay. So the nays have it. So what it means, we go back to the original position, the original drafting by Honorable Gideon. Yes. So you proceed with another proposed amendment?
Yes. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The next proposed amendment was by Honorable Susan Nakauchi.
But what, as we proceed, what you need to consider, and this should not be mistaken for me taking a position on this. Every motion that we debate and adopt goes to the council. Every motion, because that's all we can do, recommend to the council to take action. So, yes. So maybe what the Honorable Gideon can consider is which is the quick win.
Listen to the contribution from the members. The title as it is non-optional. And we have seen the comments of we have had the comment of the chair of the council, and most of the members were talking about giving a room to regulations rather than banning. So the title is totally, totally cut off all those contributions of the members that it is not optional, we must be able to ban. So if we go by the way the title is, and we are giving the opinion of the council that they should go and give it to the expert to consider. How do we take the two about it? How do we go about it?
Yes, Honorable that is why we are asking the Honorable Member, the mover of the motion, to first deal with the issues raised about the title. That is one. Two, as much as he is advised by the council and the other members, he is not bound to accept the position of the council. He's not. Yes. But Honorable Mary, because you are a seconder of the motion.
Yes, thank you, Honorable, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to point out to the fact that what this motion is saying, to me, is tallies with what the chair of the council has recommended. Because this is recommending. Please let's read it again. Motion for a resolution of the Assembly recommending to the Council. We are recommending to the Council. So whatever the Council decides to do in terms of procedure is agreeable. We are just making recommendations to the Council. And I think the Council Chair has made it clear. Thank you.
But Honorable Mayor, how do you, Honorable Mayor, how do you reconcile the situation, the title asking to ban and the prayers of the motion asking for immediate declarations? Declare a compulsory, urgently declare. Yes, this is what I have in front of me.
Mr. Speaker,
urges the council to urgently declare compulsory, things like that. So that is the language.
To me, if I can answer your question.
Order, please. I don't want you to repeatedly pronounce order like I have seen some speakers do, because we always handle our matters differently. So, Honorable Mayor, I think there is a clear contradiction between the title, if it is amended, and what the motion urges the council to do in the prayers. If it is amended, if the title is amended.
We are dealing with that title right now. And if there is any form of contradiction, then we address it when we reach there, if anyone has raised that issue. But to me, the point I'm trying to raise is that Parliament makes recommendation to the Council, and then the Council acts accordingly. And that's normal practice. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. So we have disposed of the proposed amendment by Honorable Aden. Now, you deal with another proposed amendment on the title.
Right, Honorable Speaker, there's one thing I need to mention before I proceed, because it may cause confusion. The statement from the chair of the council was very clear. It was to differentiate between the mercury, whether what we are talking about is contained in the provision, in the last provision of the prohibited article, which is all soaps and cosmetics containing mercury. Hydroquinone is different from mercury. That is what the differentiation we have. We think it has same effects almost to that one of mercury in terms of damaging the skin when it is applied.
I think the most important message from the council chair was that this matter would be eventually referred to a sectoral council. Yeah, a sectoral committee or sectoral council. So you can forget for a moment another detail he may have alluded to. But the idea was the council has given indication of how it is going to be processed. Yeah. So you can proceed with another proposal on the type.
Thank you. I have another proposal, but maybe the writer is behind him. Honorable Simon.
Clarification, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
In your communication, Honorable Speaker, when we started the session, you informed the House that we are going to have the session until 5:30, and now it's 6 o'clock. Going by the way of these amendments, are we still going by your communication?
Is this thing in front of me not properly functional? I was waiting to be alerted by my people in front of me. So, yes, that informal meeting is very important. Yes. Is it 6? And we have our colleagues who will need to go and break the fast at 6:30. So I think we can interrupt business and resume tomorrow. It will even give more time for the mover and the other members to harmonize so that tomorrow we can move faster. Yes? There is no situation that can never be harmonized. Yes. Even amending is harmonization, if that is what you do agree on. So, honorable members, I thank you for the session today. This is a very important matter. I had a meeting with the Honorable Gideon before I released the final order paper, because I wanted to hear from him really the seriousness with which he was treating this subject. And now clearly it's a very important thing. So we'll continue and conclude this tomorrow, just as we shall resume other matters on the order paper that we have not been able to address. So when I adjourn, I will ask everyone else except the members to leave the room, to vacate the room, and the members can also stretch for a minute or two. But we will not need people in the booth. We will not need the clerk. Maybe the chief clerk can stay. We will not need all these other colleagues who help us when we conduct our business, because we will not need to take records. Yeah. So I adjourn the House until tomorrow at 2:30. Members, please also stay. The council. Thank you.